Hey, you guys, it's David at Valley and Beyond. And James has asked me to talk about the tables. And what happens here, people come in and they get me going, and I can run on for a long time about live edge tables. Because, well, I've been doing the live edge table thing for 8 or 9 years. There's nobody in the city of Calgary that knows live edge tables like I do. Not only do I know how to work with them, and so that they're usable in Calgary for ever and ever, but I know how to also fix them when they first come in. Sometimes they crack a little bit. We know how to do all that. We know how to do what I call remedial work to make sure that you have an amazing friggin' live edge table. There's other stuff about it too. I go to Indonesia, and I have a couple of guys over there who are on the lookout for tables for me that are 5 or 6 years since they've been cut. So not just since the tree's been cut, but since the trunk has been slabbed. And sometimes they're rough looking because they've been laying out, for a number of years. But I want them dry, really dry, and that's what I bring you. This, wood that's usable here. So, come on, let's have a quick look. When you look at this table, now what happens is that I don't normally do anything to it when it first comes in until you've decided what you want. Because with this table, I can do epoxy in these cracks. I could fill this, and so I kind of leave it. This is the way it came in. When the customer comes and buys it, then I can do a lot of things with it. I can stain it if they want it a little bit darker. I can do epoxy. They like a little epoxy. So I can actually even make it shorter. Can't make it longer. But I can make it a little shorter if they want it shorter. Like I'll show you one here. All of these can be refinished, and I've left them that way. Some of them come with wood legs, and some of them with metal. This particular table, I had customers that bought this table, and after they went home, they measured and they realized they needed a foot shorter. Now they love the table, and so we're going to take 6 inches off either end, and it's actually here until I think I'm storing it for them until August, and which is pretty cool. So we're it for live edge tables in this city. I've had countless people come in and say, "Oh gosh, I bought a table from at some store, and with some salesman who doesn't know really about what he's selling, and maybe they've got it home and it's cracked or warped on them, and which can happen. And at least if you have something like that, call me and I'll see if I can fix it up for you. But we do the work so that doesn't happen. Here, this one we have finished, and look at that finish. It's very glossy. I did a high gloss finish, just kind of on purpose. And what do you think of that? I mean, they're beautiful. They really are. And I put some epoxy down on that far end that James was just showing you. And I have also live edge benches that go with the tables. This is a shorter one for the end of one of the bigger tables, but I've got lots of benches. Come on back here, I'll show you. This one we actually finished as well. It's not 100% done, but it's about 80% done. It probably needs another coat of finish. And what I put on them is a hardwood floor finish. It's very cool. That one that he's showing you right now is not finished at all. That's the way it came in. I'll do whatever's needed, after you've decided what you like. This table here, customers bought this table a couple of weeks ago, and this is epoxy, and we're going to we put a coat on this, and this is the way it is. We put a coat on it. I wasn't happy with the finish. We're going to sand the whole thing again tomorrow when it's warmer. We actually go outside now because I don't like to sand inside of this store. And we'll go outside on the back loading dock. We'll give this whole thing another, super duper sanding, and then we'll refinish it. I think I'm just not entirely happy with the way that it finished. So we're going to do it again. And they came in, had a look at it in the weekend. So far they like it, but they liked it better than I did, really. So there's more work to do. And the neat thing is that we can do it. This table here, it was about 1.5 feet longer. Actually, that's the piece that came off the bottom of it. They wanted it cut to 5 feet, so we made the legs for them. And this table's going to go on those legs. We're just going to refinish it again tomorrow. Marlon's coming in, and we'll work together on these, and this is going to be super. And I've got, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 20 some tables left. There's a bunch more around the showroom and stuff that are left here for you guys to pick from. Let me tell you a little bit about the wood, if you're interested. So the wood's called Suar, S-U-A-R, and it's a hardwood. And we say it's an Indonesian hardwood, but the truth is, it was taken to Indonesia by the Dutch probably 300 years ago. And almost all of these trees are urban. There's no big forest that's being cut down. And many of them aren't cut down at all. If you look it up, Suar, if you Google it, go to Wikipedia, they have a huge canopy on top of them. And what happens is that their root base doesn't go very deep. It's big like the canopy. And often they blow over. So full-grown trees will blow over because the root base is not very deep. And so when that happens, and a lot of these are what I call urban or domestic. They're in people's lands. They're in parks and cemeteries and reserves. And then when they blow over, the Indonesians are very industrious. Nothing gets wasted, like zero waste. They use the branches for the stools and for furniture and for carving, and they use the trunk for these tables, and they make great tables. The weave of the wood, if you look on Wikipedia, it shows pictures of the weave and how it holds together as a table. I mean, not all wood can be made into slabs for tables, and this one works really, really well. So that's the story. Nobody's clear cutting some big forest. They really manage these trees pretty well, and they're on a farmer's land. He doesn't, he wouldn't cut one unless he needed it because he needed money for something. It's like their investment. And I actually bought 2 trees. What a great learning experience was. I bought 2 trees standing from a village because in the cemetery they were uprooting the graves. And they wanted the money to do some road work, actually, to the cemetery. So a friend helped me put the deal together, and I bought 2 trees. This was quite a few years ago. And did I learn a lot. It was such a learning experience. And it took, like 2 years for the trees, to dry. We slabbed them, and we put them in a warehouse, and we had fans on them, and it was way more, it was a big deal. And I don't know. I don't think I didn't make any money on that because I never got to be there and see how many were slabbed, whether the slabs all came to me, and all of the branches and everything that were used for furniture and everything. Even though it was all mine, I didn't realize the value was in it. And so, but God bless them, and I'm sure it all went where it was needed to go, right? But a big learning experience for me now. So instead of ever doing that, cutting my own trees and slabbing them up, I have somebody looking for slabs for me all the time. I want to show you this. These are the benches. These are the benches. This is a bench that, I've got the legs are sitting over here, and there's more benches over there. So I've got lots of benches, you guys, that go, really nicely. A lot of people will put a bench on one side of the table and chairs on the other. So we've got chairs here as well, some really cool chairs. We've got lots of tables for you to pick from, and benches to go on one side. You can put a bench on both sides if you want, but that's what we're going to suggest is that we do that. So just want to give you a shot from this end. You can see it's not, we're actually, we're doing some packing of boxes. Just a side note, we all of our packing material that we pack, stuff in to go out, like the the meditation benches and the altars and all that kind of stuff, we try to do all with recycled packing material. That's our goal, and so far we've been able to do that. This, by the way, this top on this console table is also the same wood. This is our piece of Sawara wood. We've got a bunch of consoles. There's one over here too, two over here. So this is great wood. Look at it. And so that's the top of a console table, and that's a bit of the story. Of the tables and where they come from and how they're looked after, and they're on sale. It's just been, I guess, a sign of the times. So, but considering I used to sell these for 6, 7, 8,000, and even then, people would say, "David, that's awfully cheap," because I've heard people spending 20,000 on a table like this, but right now most of them are around 5 or 6,000, and I've got them at half of that. So $2,500 to $3,000 for a table is super duper cheap. What a deal! So, and it's a family heirloom. It's it's an investment piece. You'll have it forever. This is solid, beautiful wood, and made. These tables are made with real loving energy in Indonesia, and we put our love into them here. So that's it. Love you guys. Come on in and see our tables and see our shop, and hang out and visit, and maybe Monday nights we do a little meditation here. Sunday mornings really soon we're going to do a little ecstatic dance. So love to have you come and visit. Love you lots. Thanks. Bye.